So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first?
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Who Talks First. I am Courtney.
And I'm Solo.
And we're going to do the episode, the post-episode. We've done 2 pre-episodes.
We have.
And now it's post. The
now
day
it's
is
post,
here.
and if you haven't watched the movie, definitely do not listen to this podcast because it is going to be 1,000,000% spoilers.
Yeah, we'll do a very quick non-spoiler review. Again, this is for Rogue One, I assume, but you know by the title of this podcast that this is for Rogue One. We'll do a very quick non-spoiler review, but we want to talk about the spoilers, so that's going to happen pretty instantly. So,
quick non-spoiler
review.
I loved it.
It was phenomenal.
Yes.
It brings a whole new experience to the original trilogies.
Yes.
A New Hope has always been my favorite Star Wars movie, or like has been up there for sure, and it brings a whole new level to A New Hope.
Yeah, it does.
And
it's everything A New Hope needed.
Exactly. It's a great prequel, and I liked the actual prequels, but this is what
phenomenal.
This is what the Star Wars
I don't
universe
claim
needed.
that the prequels were good. I just like them.
This is what this movie needed to be in order to really show the state of the galaxy before A New Hope.
Absolutely.
And absolutely great. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I didn't really even have any issues with it, but
I'll give it a 9.
I'm like, I can't even like really mark it down. I have a couple things I'll talk about in the podcast, but nothing brought it down for me. Like the only reason why
But it's just so limited because of what it has to be.
Exactly. So I think that's why I have to give it a lower score, but it had to be that way. So it's not even a lower score. It's an 8.5. That's a pretty good score for me. Maybe it's just you're going to be wrecked watching this movie. Just get wrecked.
It's easily not counting The Force Awakens because that movie could be ruined.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, it's my favorite Star Wars story.
Like,
but
it's
definitely
dark.
It's my favorite movie out of the entire
like,
completed
it hasn't
series,
taken down A New Hope, but for me, or I don't think Revenge of the Sith, just because I'm still more attached to those characters.
Right.
But, I mean, you can't help that either way.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely what's happening is that my new favorite trilogy is Revenge of the Sith, Rogue One, A New Hope.
Yeah.
That's my trilogy right there.
That's good.
So good. So yeah, definitely go watch it. And now we're going to get to spoilers.
Yep.
So, Shoo Fly. Oh my god. So, we held hands throughout the whole, I'm pretty sure, second half of that movie.
R.I.P. my right hand.
Oh my god, what?
I looked over at Courtney, I was like, can you please hold my hand right now?
And I don't think after that moment there wasn't a chance that we'd let it go.
We didn't let go
time.
to the very end.
Yep. Because it was just, from the battle on Scarif onwards, there's no time for you to relax.
Yeah. I didn't make you hold my hand after K2. It was when Chirrut was about to go. I was like, you need to hold my hand right now because he's gonna die.
So, yeah. So I'm assuming all of you who are made it this far have watched the movie. Everyone did.
Everyone.
And, like, just want to, like, if you guys haven't listened to our past podcast, we
Please
did, like,
go
a trailer
listen to
review, and we did the predictions. All of them are right.
We were like, we should have
put
put money on
doing,
this.
like, the money symbol, like, the
making it rain.
Hands. Yeah, making it rain.
I was
when
like,
I was
we
right
would've
about everything.
We would have gotten so much money if we would have put money down on that movie.
And I wanted, so, like, my first thought after
also,
that movie.
fuck you, Matt Pat. Told you.
Well, that's what I'm like.
Your stupid theory about the Knights of Ren being gonna be the Rogue One cast. I was like, literally the stupidest. I love Matt Pat.
Oh, I love
But
Matt
I was like,
Pat.
that is such a ridiculous theory.
And, like, as somebody who does theories a lot, I feel like my game as a theorist has gone up, because I was right about everything in Rogue One.
Yep.
I was right about Saab being the one that raised Jin.
Yep.
Got
about him
that.
being an extremist.
Yep, about Saab being an extremist. About, Galen purposely building in the flaw in the
Death Star,
and the reason that he took the job is because he knew someone else would do it if he didn't do it.
But they wouldn't have built in the failsafe.
Yeah, so
The saboteur piece, like, it was all...
And we called everyone dying.
Yes.
I mean, again, when in our last predictions, like, I was like, the only ones that might make it out are Jin and Cassian.
Mm-hmm.
And,
nope.
I mean...
They were the last ones.
They were the last ones.
That's for sure.
But... Damn.
Nobody could have survived that.
And, but such a beautiful shot. that shot when they hug.
That shot, beautiful. Also, like, a deep, satisfying beautiful when Krennic looks up and sees that the Death Star is... That's the last thing he gets to see. I'm like, yeah, the weapon that you built kills you. Good.
There's just so many amazing, heartbreaking moments in this movie. Good. Just absolutely.
It's beautiful.
Oh
it was
my
very
God.
good. I'm gonna, like, cry. It's so...
I might need a little bit, because we just saw it last night. We saw it, like not an early screening, but at like 7:30.
Yeah, we got like a cheating 7:30 because the East Coast gets it at 10:30.
So
that's...
We got a little bit early, or I think. I don't really know how the whole system works, but we got to see it at 7:30. And I might need a little bit before I see it again.
Yeah, it's intense.
Well, because I had actually a couple people ask me if they felt like they could take their kids to it. And I'm like, I'm saying wait for it to go at home and have A New Hope prepared to watch right afterwards.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I would not want to bring, because even in our screening there was a couple young kids there.
Yeah, and one of them left.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's not a kid-friendly movie.
No. Because I wonder what it's rated. PG-13?
It's PG-13.
Yeah, okay.
And, I mean, it's not like anything scandalous happens.
No, but it's we talked about this in the car. I'm like, we need to be more sensitive to violence. American people are so desensitized to violence. It's disgusting.
It was horrifying.
Like, your kids don't need to see stuff like that.
And you need to see in this movie that there's very little hope, because there's not. And then after you see what happened here and what happened on Jedha, and then you start A New Hope, and then Alderaan, like, the state... Princess Leia... Can I just talk about how amazing this woman is? Right. That she has any hope for this rebellion when all of this has happened?
And, like, all of this has happened in the span of, like, what, a week? Not even?
I'm, like, not even sure. I think it was a very short time period.
Maybe a few days? Like, just because I'm like, well, they do have hyperspace, but they still do have to travel from place to place to place. Yeah. I'm like, at most a week. Yeah. I don't even think that long, but at most a week.
I'm like, I'm not sure how long they got to sleep before these things. And just how strong the people that really believe in the rebellion are. Just, dang, because they went, now that you know how much they went through, just prior, because basically the movie ends,
like, almost immediately.
Immediately before New Hope starts. And that was just so exciting.
So good.
The ending was so good. And just when you see all the lights flick on, and then you're like, I'm gonna start crying.
Right?
You're like, that's A New Hope.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I'm emotional. You are too. Now you can talk.
I know, it was very good. Because then you get to see Leia and you're like, oh my God, is there like 5 minutes between these movies even? Because it's like immediately you go straight into.
We did talk about this, like, again, one of my very little things I shouldn't say flaws, but things I would have changed if I was the director. R2 and C-3PO should have been on that ship. Yeah. They have a cameo in the movie.
The cameo should have been them at the end, right there.
At the end.
So you know that they're on the ship.
And so they obviously are. You know Vader makes it there very quickly after. Yeah. So you do know they're on Yavin 4, and so Leia could go back and get them, but you feel like she's going directly to Alderaan, you know? Or, like, if she has the Death Star plans, she needs to get them to Yavin 4, so she has them. There's no way they would have been on that ship.
Yeah, they would have been. I just feel like what happened is when your husband.
Chirrut? Cassian?
No.
Kylo?
No, Leia's dad.
Bail Organa.
Bail. When Bail's like, I'm gonna go send for my daughter, I think she comes from Alderaan to Yavin 4 for, like, a debriefing. Yeah. And that's when they get on the ship, and then they go get them.
Yeah, I'm just saying
immediately, but yeah.
Yeah, with C-3PO and R2, so at that point, they need to be on that ship. She can't go get them afterwards. She needs to get those plans to Yavin 4, so they would automatically be on that ship. Because I was thinking the only excuse for not showing them if she doesn't have them yet, but she does. She does.
She has to have them.
She has to have them. She did not make it to Yavin 4 to pick them up after that.
Yes, you're right.
So, they should have been... Their cameo could have been replaced to...
Them being on the ship and, like...
Just like, with Leia. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, I think their cameo was completely necessary. I've seen some people say that they didn't like their cameo at all. I'm like, those are the droids who take the Death Star plans to Tatooine, they get Obi-Wan, like, they're This is their prequel story in a way, too. Like...
Without them, the plans would have never made it anywhere.
They were a necessary cameo.
Yeah. It's not like they had it's not like they were they weren't there unnecessarily long. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah.
No.
They just had a quick little, we're here.
Yeah, but they should have been rolling, or...
Behind.
With Leia. And, so they had they had a bunch of CG characters.
They did.
They had, they had Leia, who, like, looked great. Mm-hmm. They had Tarkin, and then they had I thought the best-looking ones were the pilots, personally.
Wait, the pilots were CG?
Some of them were, because they were the pilots from the original movie.
My God, I couldn't tell that, I guess probably because they're behind the helmet.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell the pilots at all.
No, that's why I think they were the best-looking ones.
Absolutely.
Unless they look like actors. I don't know, but I assume they're CG because they were the...
Original, yeah.
Because a couple of those were the pilots that are going to be in...
New Hope.
A New Hope.
Yeah, you're right.
So they were the best-looking ones. Tarkin looked really good. There's just a few times where I felt like...
You could tell he was CG.
You could tell he was CG.
Just because he would do a little too much moving.
That's why, like, I just would have cut away more with him. Mm-hmm. And, because, like, the actor they got for his voice, which I wonder if it's the same actor who does...
Clone Wars? Or...
The cartoon.
Probably.
I'm curious. Is amazing.
No, yeah.
And I just wish, especially when he was talking, that's when it was super clear that he was kind of CG.
Yeah.
Because it cut away to Krennic and listening.
Because the thing with mocap, like, because things get so, like, enunciated and...
Yeah.
Like, they get over-exaggerated, and that's when they look a little... You can tell that they're fake. Just because I'm like, that person's doing a little too much moving, or, like, they're opening their mouth a little too wide.
Yeah. There were just a few times, or, like, where he was a little too CG, so I just would have used him less, and I feel like...
He looked great.
A few of the really only necessary part. I mean, Tarkin needed to be in that movie.
Oh yeah,
like definitely just given him what his position is. But I feel like the only real necessary part of him is him telling Krennic that he's taking over.
Yeah,
like that. The Death Star is going to be his. It's his thing, and maybe at the end. Well, yeah, when he's
definitely at the end.
He's like blow up Krennic.
Yep,
he's out of the way now. Goodbye. Crazy.
Perfect.
Just.
Because, like, even if they would have had him... It might have been too cheesy, though. Because if they could have just had him, like, talking and you just see his reflection in the window when he's talking to Krennic. Yeah. Like, that would be one way to get away with it. But I applaud them for being, like...
Oh, yeah. They definitely did a great job. It was just also... Like, to a kid, they wouldn't be able to tell. No. Like...
They'd probably be like, oh my God, that's magic. And, like, it wasn't too fake. It didn't take me out of the moment.
Oh, no.
It wasn't, it wasn't god-awful. It wasn't like some of the stuff in the prequels.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's some CG in the remakes of the re-releases of the prequels that stick out like sore thumbs. Yeah. And he did not stick out for a sore thumb. You could just tell he wasn't a real person.
Yeah.
Especially at certain times when he's particularly talking. When you could be like, that mouth is... just not quite right.
Yes.
But the pilots, I probably should have looked this up, but they looked amazing.
Yeah. And if those are CG, like, oh my Jesus Lord.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And it might be a little bit easier with, like, the helmets and
stuff.
Right,
because you get to hide a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And also they're only shown for a quick moment. And it's normally during an action scene, so they're kind of moving.
Yeah.
It's not like...
And when they're in, like, the mix of, like, the other actual real pilots, you don't get to focus on them too long.
Yeah. It was great.
Oh, my God, just...
The movie was so good.
K2!
My little gentle giant. My little iron giant. I love him. I shouldn't say gentle giant. He was not gentle, but that's okay, because I loved him.
One of my favorite scenes was the Cassian pimp slap being like, you backmouth me. What did he say?
I can't remember. You backtalk me one more time.
One more time. Badmouth me.
Something. I don't.
Here comes a fresh one. You badmouth me. I'm like, oh my God, K2.
So cute. I loved him. He was everything that I wanted him to be. Except for that he ended up dead. I was like, I didn't want him to be dead. He was a droid.
I expected all of them to die, but at the same time, like, K2 wasn't really even in that math.
No, he wasn't.
Because I'm like, K2 won't die.
The droids always live.
That's fine.
That's Star Wars law.
They have to live.
The war doesn't even spare the droids.
No. And I really... Because I read Catalyst, which is the Rogue One book, before seeing it. And I can't decide if I liked that or not. Like...
Because you knew so much?
Because I did know so much, and then I feel like... Well, I don't know just how much was clear to... Like, other people. And I know I've told you stuff, so I'm like...
I'm not a good... Yeah, no, because I knew... We knew about the Kyber crystals powering the Death Star, and we knew about...
Like, Krennic and their backstory. You don't know as much about Lyra, which... No. I mean, Lyra was my favorite character in the book, and obviously Jin's mom goes...
Very quickly.
Very quickly. Which, Lyra, beginning of the movie, she dead. Because she just didn't want them to take her husband. But they had a plan. The second, like, she walked up with, like, the gun. Because Galen had already been like, Lyra died. So don't go looking for her. And then...
They're like, we're gonna look for her. And then she's like, hey, I'm here. And you're like, what?
You have a kid! You have a very young kid.
Yeah. And, like, you think that she's gonna be fine. Yeah. But, like, what did you think was gonna happen?
I'm like, Lyra, you knew you were going to die there.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where, I mean, even, like, with Han Solo going out on the bridge, like, there's a part of him who knew there was a very good chance he was going to die there.
Oh, yes.
Like, he was going to, he's like, I'm going to try to...
This is my last chance to try to be a father.
And...
The father that I haven't really been for years.
Yeah. And then... Well, like, Lyra being, like, I'm going to try to save my husband, even though it's either I'm going to save him or I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And, I mean, she shoots Krennic. Mm-hmm. She gets a bullet in, but, sorry, your husband gets exploded later. Yeah. Oh, no one makes it out, man.
No.
I mean, Bail Organa he's got, like, a good, like, week left in him.
He does.
Maybe. Leia's good so far. I need the sequel trilogy to end happily now. Yeah. If the sequel trilogy does not end happily...
If the Star Wars continue forever, like, I know it's just... I shouldn't even say human nature, because it's a galaxy full of non-humans, but, like, it's just sentient being nature that there's gonna be wars.
Oh, yeah.
But still.
And, let's talk about some cameos, because,
Oh my god, when we slapped each other because we were so happy!
Hera got basically 2 cameos, sort of. I mean, the ghost is in there, and then over the loudspeaker, you hear them call for General Syndulla, which...
I got so excited. I think we were the only 2 people in the theater that were excited.
No, I heard someone, about when the ghost showed up, I heard someone say...
Did you?
Say, oh, that's the ghost. And... So I'm like, okay, there you go, you have that. But when they mentioned General Syndulla, I'm not sure if they just wasn't paying attention because it was a background thing.
Yeah, it was.
But, and then there was 2 jokes that we missed in the theater.
We did. We didn't hear them.
We didn't hear what they were talking about were obsolete.
Yeah.
Because we heard everyone laugh, but there was a person in the theater, like, moving across the seats at the time when they had it. So we didn't hear that. And what was the second one? Oh, the line about Saw's sister.
Yeah, okay, that's not a joke. But they were saying, when Cassian's taking Jin to try to find Saw, and he's like, something,
his sister,
and then hopefully you can get an audience with Saw, and I'm like, are they saying Saw's sister? Because
she's dead.
She's been dead for a very long time. I don't understand.
Assumed that they mentioned her, and...
Like, maybe her name was the password? I don't know what it was.
Yeah, so we'll have to... please tell us in the comments below what those lines were, because we missed both of them. Yeah. If you remember. Because...
I also want to rewatch again when they're going through all the files.
Oh, yeah.
And they said something about, like, Black Saber,
yeah.
Like, cracked crystal or something like that, or, like, fake Kyber or something. They said something Kyber, and then Black Saber, and I was like...
What? I'm like, Black Saber, that's Clone Wars, and Rebels reference.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, what files are those, man?
Yeah.
Was one of those Darth Maul? One of those, like...
Something, could be.
It's probably, there are probably all instructions of how to build them.
Probably, but I'm like, I'm interested. I'd like to hear that again.
Yeah.
To know what they're talking about. And
I'd love to watch it and just kind of try to pick up on more stuff.
Yeah, like, that's one that absolutely gonna buy on Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Just have A New Hope prepared for Right afterwards. Yep. And Anakin in his little palace.
Oh my god. Can we talk about Vader's line? Some people are mad about, and I'm like, LOL.
Because I'm like, are people not... Because I'm like...
The people are delusional.
Anakin is extra TM as fuck.
Yes.
That line, I hope you don't choke on your ambition, is the most Anakin line.
Like, Anakin walks away, the door closes, he high-fives himself, he was like,
nailed it!
I'm so evil! Ha 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 ha!
And, well, with the CG Anakin, Hayden was there.
Yep.
I'm like, that's really cute, because I know, I guess it's probably like 5 years before he dies, and where he does not look like Anakin anymore at all. Mm-hmm. But I liked that they made him look like they had a little bit of Anakin in him, because I feel like people are so weird with the prequels.
Yeah. I'm like, calm down. Sorry, they're canon.
They're canon. That's what Anakin looked like.
Yes.
That's who he was.
That's who he was. And if you can pretend that you don't like it, that's fine. Or, well, you can not like it, but you can't pretend like Anakin never turned into Vader. You can't pretend that Vader was never Anakin. Yeah. I'm sorry, you can't.
Like that little whiny baby who I love him. That's Vader.
That's Vader.
I hope you don't choke on your ambitions. I did think the Vader helmet looked a little cheapy.
Didn't it?
Yeah, okay. It wasn't
just
me.
No, he looked a little cheap.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it just because the lighting's way better and everything else looks better?
That might be it.
Because you never really see Vader in super bright light.
Yeah.
I
almost wish trilogies. They did sort of give him a transition helmet where it's the mix between the Rebels helmet and the New Hope helmet.
Did they?
Yeah. Because he had like the red lenses and stuff. But
it was especially the neck piece that looked really bad.
Which people were complaining about before in like the trailers.
Yeah.
And they said that they fixed it later in CG, which I'm like, oh, he's still, like, his helmet looked super plasticky. Which, I mean, I suppose it is, but it looks kind of like didn't look great, but...
No.
I mean, he looked like Vader, so that's all...
Yeah, because you can't... The problem with that is that you can't change too much, otherwise people will go mental. Yeah. If you make him look too, like, good, if you change up too much...
Or maybe I'm trying to make him look more shiny and new, and... I mean, maybe I should have paid attention to him more,
when we met him? When at Disney?
When we met him at Disney. Or at the end of the movie when he's coming through with the lightsaber.
I mean, I still thought he looked very...
Yeah.
He looked better in that lighting because you couldn't see as much of him.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I want to... But I just remember, like, the other few times we saw him, I'm like, your helmet...
When he was in his palace on Mustafar... I'm just saying that planet was Mustafar because they didn't name it.
I think I read something yesterday from someone that's saying it wasn't Mustafar, but maybe... I don't really know. I haven't looked too much again about it. We saw this movie we got home a little over 12 hours ago, so...
It's true.
We still have some more research to do.
Even if it's not on Mustafar, the fact that Anakin's like, I'm gonna put my place on a lava planet.
And...
Because I'm self-deprecating.
Want to hear the new Snoke theory?
Oh my god,
That it's the old guy, it's the old acolyte guy. That was like, Lord Vader, Krennic is here to see you.
Oh, well... Maybe, but probably not, because they said that nothing in Rogue One is going to be connected to fucking shit.
And I'm like, I could maybe see that one.
Maybe, but this guy's
he's dedicated to Vader.
Yeah, but that guy's obviously an alien. Snoke is obviously an alien. He's 8 feet tall.
And we don't know how tall that man was. We don't know.
I guess you're right.
It's definitely not a theory that I'm going to follow, but I'm like, if that's what they ended up going with, I'm like, alright.
I'd be okay with it.
It'd
be two Vader fanboys got together.
Interestingly focus on this man.
Yeah, for the point where I was like, am I supposed to know who he is?
Yeah, I was waiting for like an audience reaction, being like, I'm supposed to know. Mm-hmm. No. But, I mean, that would just be such a trolly thing to have that be Snoke later on.
Yeah, especially because it'd be two Vader fanboys, essentially.
Being like, then it's like Snokey just worshipped Vader, and then his obsession with Kylo is even like creepier.
He's like, I'm gonna make you into the next one.
Yeah, so I can.
The dangers of fanboys.
The whole Star Wars fan base in a nutshell. Also, let's just talk about. All right, so there's some people in the world who are like, ugh, women and their vaginas getting into places, and I'm like, hey.
Remember where you came out of. Sorry.
We're people, and I'm not sure if you were all born in like the 50s, or just have never thought women were people in general. But there's a lot of people complaining about Jin being the protagonist when, oh my god, it's the stupidest art. You have a cast. Look at that poster.
You
got Vader, Krennic, Baze, Bodhi, Chirrut, Cassian, K2SO, and, like, did I say Krennic and Vader? I think I did.
Yeah. And then probably Jin. Some stormtroopers.
You got one female.
Yep.
Is
she the biggest one on the poster? Yes. Yeah. But she is also the only one. She's only female.
If you for a second complained about that, it's people like complaining about, like, Rey, too. I'm like, in your main cast, you got Rey, Poe, Finn, Han, Chewie, Kylo, Hux, and then, you have Phasma.
Yeah.
Snoke.
Yeah.
You got little Leia. You got Maz.
No.
But, like, in your main cast of, like, if you choose your top 5 main characters, it's like one girl.
Yep.
Rest men.
Yes.
So the fact that people for a second complained about
You're complaining about it? Like, we're not complaining about it, and it's definitely still unequal.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining about, like, I was like, okay, it's kind of sucked, but you know what? Baby steps.
Yeah. I was excited as heck to be like, oh yeah, we're getting another.
I was excited as... Rey being the main character in the new trilogy is the only reason I went and saw it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's the only reason I
would have saw it no matter what.
You would have, but I didn't like Star Wars, remember?
Yep.
By the time I saw that one, I didn't like Star Wars, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna go see another fucking Star Wars movie about these stupid boys and their stupid stars and their stupid wars.
And
done. And they were like,
so good.
And they were like, but look at Rey, and I was like, okay, high fantasy star female lead. We'll see. Let's watch it. And I was like, oh my god, this is fucking good.
And I can't believe there's, I mean, I don't want to, like, call out another podcast. I'm not going to mention them. But there was, like, another big Star Wars podcast that recently mentioned, like, just female issues and gender issues should stay out of Star Wars. And I'm like, okay. Just, like, wanting a female character in a movie?
Yeah.
When you've got a lot to choose from, and you always have.
Yeah. Even the droids, up until the prequels, the droids were pretty much always male-gendered droids.
Yeah.
It wasn't until, like...
There's, like, Star Tours.
Until...
a girl. And
Obi-Wan's droid. Obi-Wan's little R2.
Yep.
I'm like, you pretty much don't got shit. I'm like, even your robots are male, because you're like, that's the default gender is
Aunt
male.
Beru. Mon Mothma.
Who got cut from fucking everything.
Yeah. And so I'm like, this inclusion of female characters, I don't know why people are so or not. I know it's not a lot of people. It's just these squeaky wheels.
Yeah, no, it's just the squeaky wheels
that are somehow getting attention. But the fact that this even crossed their mind, like, do you like women in general? Like, do you want a woman to like you ever? Because I'm gonna go with no. You think that.
They just want to play with boobies. They don't care about the rest.
Oh, you're right. They just want a boob.
They just want 2 boobies.
Mm-hmm.
And a fleshlight. That's all they want.
Oh, God. Too much, too far. So, I'm trying to think of, like, all of their death scenes. Alright, one of the things that did surprise me is that...
Oh, that Bodhi wasn't the first one to go?
Bodhi was not the first one to go.
Can we talk about how Bodhi was so important?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why the fuck didn't you give him a pop figure? Like, he's more important than that goth R2-D2 that we never saw in the movie.
I'm like, I cannot place where we saw him, if we saw him at all.
Like, maybe it was in the background when they were running on a base.
Gotta be in the background somewhere, but yeah, goth R2-D2, really not there, and he got a pop.
Yeah.
And Bodhi did not. When Bodhi was... To me, easily the main character after Cassian and Jin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
he has plot relevance where Chirrut and Baze, I love them, and they're very powerful because They're like the powerful party members that you have.
Yeah.
They're your party members, but they're not playable characters.
Yes.
I'm like, Jin, Cassian, and Bodhi, those are, like, main character options.
Yeah, Bodhi had, like, this really long, like, this important, like, story arc. He's the one that basically got this message.
Like, literally without him, they would have never gotten that message.
And
if he hadn't risked his life.
all of my predictions about Bodhi are based around him not having a pop figure,
right.
basically.
Which,
and,
to be fair...
I mean, my only real prediction was that he was going to be the first to die.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, he's going to be the first to die.
It's going to be a really powerful death. It's probably going to be...
the one that, like, motivates people to go. I'm like, he was the second/third one to go, because K2 was number 1, then Shuret,
and
then Bodhi.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a little part of me is thinking that Bodhi was part of the reshoots, adding him. I feel like he was maybe going to die earlier, that the whole transmission sequence, like, that was going to be maybe an easier thing to do.
I think that maybe originally they had planned for him to die with Saw. To, like...
I don't think that early,
Really?
because he's the one who names Rogue One. That's reshooting, like, half the movie.
Oh, you're right.
And making it to that base where... I think he would maybe have died around there, or when they first get to Scarif. I think he was supposed to die a little bit earlier, and then they give him a more heroic death.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this is all strictly based off of,
just the fact that they didn't give him a pop figure when he's so important.
Yep.
It's very strange to me.
Yep.
Because I'm like, he's definitely
they
very,
give, like,
very
the
important.
Scarif troopers, Death troopers.
Well, of course they're gonna have
the
those.
troopers,
just because of their troopers. Troopers always sell.
But that R2... I mean, they have, like, multiple different Jins.
He doesn't have I don't think he has a Black Series figure either.
He does have a Black Series.
Does he? Okay.
Oh. He has a... I'm not sure about Black Series, but he has the...
He has a diecast.
Diecast.
Yeah, but I don't know if he has the Black Series.
Because, like, Saw didn't get a pop either, so I'm assuming, like, Saw
not getting a pop makes sense to me, though.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's not in a lot of the movie, and he's not super important. No offense, Saw.
No. I figure, like, they might come up with, like, a second line. Like, they came out with multiple lines for TFA, where Bodhi and Saw will be there.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they did it, is so they would have, like, a couple important characters...
Maybe.
In the second round.
But who else are you going to put in the second round besides those two?
You've got, like, the big-mouthed guy and the monkey. I hate them. They're gross.
I guess they're...
Pins.
I guess
Bale?
oh
my god!
They make a Bale.
Mon Mothma. So, there could be a few.
Yeah, okay. Because I was like, in the second wave, they did have that weird red background alien guy that I was like, he's not... Why the fuck is he a pop figure? But they made him anyway.
What I'm curious about, the Sedan Thano, I think, Ethano? That's what I'm thinking his name is. The bounty hunter with the red helmet.
Yes.
Is that your rice?
It is.
Oh.
I didn't think it made a noise when it was done.
Oh, will it stop beeping eventually?
I think so. Keep talking. No one will my left.
No, it stopped. Alright. Anyway, so she made rice.
I did. I'm hungry.
That one of the other guys that was with Saw looked like that species with the helmet taken off, and I wonder if that's what it was.
Oh, because I thought he looked fucking sweet as shit.
Yeah.
I was like, that alien's cool looking.
Like, I wonder if it was just that species with the helmet taken off, because the shape of the helmet head was very similar.
That's cool.
So that's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we could look that up and find out for sure, because...
Yeah. And also, isn't that bounty hunter supposed to get, like, a book or something? Isn't he supposed to have something? Or a comic?
The Crimson...
Something.
And he might already have it.
Okay.
It's not like a book.
There's like a mini story or something. Okay.
Somewhere.
Because I remember that people really liked him, and they were like, okay, well, we'll give you a backstory about him or something.
Yeah.
And then,
he has a backstory in the visual dictionary.
Mm.
So I wonder if that's, like, his species.
That's cool.
I'll look at the Rogue One visual dictionary and...
Now we can.
Yeah. And see. Well, it just came out, I think, yesterday. I think it came out in the day...
Oh, cool.
That the movie came out.
Cool.
Because they're smart about that and not goofing. But, yeah, Saw...
I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, like, Saw was the one who raised Jin, and I... Called that. Saw's character was, like, interesting. I almost wanted to see him do a little bit more.
Me too. I would have liked to have seen more.
From, like, kind of see how scary... Oh, but let's talk about the
yes,
most subtle but so good when Saw
so
has
good.
the.
You didn't even pick up on
I didn't pick up on it until you were like, oh, it's PTSD.
Uh-huh.
When he grabs the respirator mask and he starts breathing from it and Bodhi starts freaking out.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, that's so good.
So good. I was like, oh my god, he's probably met Vader. He probably has PTSD from meeting Vader.
Yeah. Like, oh, that's such
so
a good little.
Which is also like
a
good thing because it's like, so this guy's so fucking brave for leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, because he's obviously met Vader.
Yep.
He knows how fucking scary Vader is. And I'm like, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna try to do right by the galaxy. I'm gonna go try and like,
yeah,
I need to.
And I like we were talking about this too, that they kind of, there was times where the Alliance was not the good guys. Like, Galen was killed by the Alliance.
Yep.
Like,
and they were like, call off the attack, and they're like, it's too late, and you're like, what?
What?
They almost killed Jin.
Yep. I mean, I mean. She died later.
Well,
All of them died late, and I'm just waiting for the fan art of like Jin like hugging her family, like all Force Ghosty style. Like they can't be Force Ghosts, but again, just give that little like ghosty version.
Everyone returns to the Force except for droids.
K2.
R.I.P. K2, my little robot love.
Oh my god, he was so good.
I loved
this podcast is just us being like, oh, just emotional. And Chirrut 100% Force sensitive. I don't know what those articles are talking about.
I can't believe that. I think maybe now that the movie's come out, I hope that like someone in storyboard is like, no, he's obviously Force sensitive.
Like,
he's not a Jedi.
He's not. He like didn't train to be a Jedi. He maybe can't manipulate the Force.
No, but he can definitely
man is Force sensitive.
He can definitely feel it.
Yeah.
And he can definitely call upon it in a different way, just like the Dathomirian witches.
Yeah.
Well, like they do use the Force. It's different, but there's many ways to harness the Force.
And like the fact that like the site about him, it doesn't say that he's not a Jedi. It says he is not Force sensitive.
I'm like
he's clearly Force sensitive.
I think the only reason that it says that is because
so people don't get confused.
Is so that people who don't know anything are like, well, he's obviously a Jedi. They said he was Force sensitive, and you're like, no, that's not what Jedi means.
Jedi is a position that you like have to. It's an
train for.
It's a train for. That you can be Force sensitive and not be a Jedi. There's a lot of those people.
Leia's one of them.
Yeah, Leia. Example. Maz is another one.
Yep.
I mean,
Jin's mom, she was supposed to be like a little bit Force sensitive too, and Jin herself was a little bit Force sensitive too.
There's just people that are more attuned to it than others, and I mean, I think they even come out and say this. They're like, everybody has the Force within them. The Force is life itself.
Yes.
There's just people who are able to manipulate it. And feel it more than others.
Yes.
So,
and it makes sense that like Chirrut, he could have he might have even started off not being Force sensitive, but because he prayed so hard and made himself so devout to it that he starts to develop Force sensitivity.
Now I'm curious, because there's a smuggler that's in Catalyst who people are going to yell at me if this happens. That I honestly didn't care that much for his storyline, but he was a very prominent character in the book. I wonder if he showed up in Rogue One at all, because he's very important and he's the one. But he might have just been in Catalyst to introduce them to Saw. But I'm like, I wonder if he was part of Saw's gang at all. Like, he was an alien of some sort. So I want to look that up and see if he showed up.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because it's really hard to recognize a character in a movie from a book, because you'll get a description, but you never actually see them.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be able to notice them right off the bat.
And also with names and stuff. I don't remember the guy in the book's name, and if they mentioned his name in the movie, I would have been like, oh.
You'd be like, okay, well, I didn't see it written down, so.
Yep. I don't know, man. I don't know.
One's a visual and one's a... Well, I guess they're both visual. But one's text-based and one's audible-based. There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's harder to recognize it.
Definitely. So it was
great.
It was beautiful. I mean, they dead. And rest in peace, Rey Erso theories. Rest in peace, the Rogue One cast as the Knights of Ren. Like,
gosh.
Just those theories, finally. Just waiting for Rey Skywalker to rest in peace.
Can't wait.
That's I mean, they've basically come out and said a lot. Well, because we talked about this in our other videos. Yeah, go watch our other or listen to our other Rogue One podcasts, because we talk about all of our predictions. So it might be kind of fun to listen to. But we talked about this a little bit. We went to go see the cast on Jimmy Kimmel, and when they asked like what their reactions were after seeing the movie,
they're like, well, we were all just kind of quiet, silent.
And so I'm a little bit like, oh, did they not like it? I'm like, no, because you can't be like,
yeah, after that, because you're like still sobbing.
Oh, yeah, like all of them did.
Yep,
and
they did it, but they did.
Yeah,
they're heroes, and no one will ever know.
Yep. I want a poster of that damn final shot with Cassian and Jyn.
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty, but I would cry every time I look at it, and I know it, but I just I want a pretty lithograph of it.
It would be very pretty.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful moment. I was like, oh no.
This is sad. And Jin's so young.
She's a baby.
She's only like 21 years old.
She's a baby. And they did it. I still am like, can we ever get a character who's a grown woman? But
that's why I'm like, I'm glad Mon Mothma's there.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I would just wanted Jyn to be a little bit older.
But the moments where she does get super vulnerable, like when she's talking to Son, she's like, you abandoned me.
Yeah.
I was 16 years old, and she looks very young, and it's such good acting. Because I was like, oh my god, she's a baby.
She's a baby.
She's a baby.
And then, getting to see her dad and stuff again.
Yeah, when she's just like, Papa. And you're like, oh no! You're a baby! And
I'm glad that... Because I was kind of afraid it was going to be like an Ezra situation, where... Sorry, spoilers for Rebels, too. Where, like, his dad or her dad dies seconds before she gets to see him.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's basically what happened with Ezra and Rebels, is that his parents died... like, the day before they would have found them.
Yep.
And Ezra's parents have been gone for, like, 7 years.
Yep, and he would have been able to see them, but they...
sacrificed themselves to save a bunch of other people.
Yep.
And so I was like, a part of me, I'm like, let Jyn say goodbye to her dad.
Yeah.
Like, I know... Galen just came out and said he's basically a spy for the rebellion. Or not a spy, but a traitor.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's gonna die. Like, hands down, he's gonna die.
Oh, absolutely.
But let Jyn see her dad.
Yeah.
And so
let her speak to him before. Because when she, like, starts going over to his body and he's all crumpled.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, he's fucking dead.
Yeah.
He's dead and she's not gonna be able to say anything.
I'm like, no, let
her say goodbye, and they did. They
really
did.
Emotional.
She got to say goodbye.
You get to see, like, the absolute, like, brutalness of the Empire, which is great, even against their own people.
Yeah.
You get to see...
And, alternatively, also the Alliance.
Yeah.
Like, the Rebels, because, like, when they're... I guess it's, like, Saw's group, but, like, when they're attacking the Empire things in the middle of the town, and they're just killing indiscriminately.
Yep.
They're like, I don't care if there's a child right there, I'm gonna throw that bomb because we have to take down this tank.
Yep.
And you're like, what?
Yep.
Ah!
And that's what I want to see. I want to, like, to see this...
Perfect.
This weird gray area, and why someone could maybe not like the rebellion, or... like, why someone can turn against their government.
Or even why people can be apathetic and not care at all, because they're like, both sides are bad. I don't care.
And, I mean, they're doing a very good job world building, especially, even if it doesn't directly tie into the sequel trilogy, you'll be able to see, like, in wars, both sides of war, both sides have their flaws.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And
it's...
There's reasons why people think one way and versus the other.
Absolutely.
But it just beautiful. A beautiful film. Might take a while for me to go see it again. I want to go see it at El Capitan.
Yes.
When I get back, let's go.
Yes.
Because they usually do, like, a cool show beforehand.
Yes, they'll do, like, a little light show or something.
And then we can cry and go look at the costumes and stuff that are there.
If they still have them up.
Yeah, hopefully they will. I mean, they were there.
You're gonna be gone forever!
Rogue One's gonna be there until the 15th. Now we're, like, just scheduling our plan.
Okay.
Rogue One's gonna be there until, like, February 15th.
Okay.
So we'll have plenty of time.
We'll have time. You guys aren't invited. Ha 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 ha!
Jokes. So, should we bong, marry, kill?
Okay. Who did we do last time? We did Jin's dad.
I think we did, like, the old men. Did we do Krennic?
Galen,
and...
Who was the other one? though? Was it Vader?
I don't remember who the one was.
Who did we do? Was it Cassian?
No, it wasn't Cassian, because I wanted to save them for when we got to see them on screen.
Who did we do?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Let's do Cassian, Baze, and Chirrut.
Sounds good. Married Chirrut, bonk Cassian, sorry Baze. I liked Diego Luna's face.
I would... I'd kill Cassian. I'd marry Baze, and I would sleep with Chirrut. Because I think Baze is, like, a very loyal, like, good man deep down. And, like, he's very rough.
He's very loyal.
And I'm like, but he would be a very good husband. Because I'm like, he'd do anything for Chirrut. So I'm like, he'd be a very, very good partner.
I want to read a book about Chirrut and Baze.
Me too. I would love to see, like, their
experience, like, growing up. And just be even more emotional about them.
What they did during the Clone Wars, because they were obviously there for them. They were
young guns.
They
served at, like, a Jedi temple.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm like, I would be interested, for sure, to see.
Give me an Obi-Wan movie. And also, they mentioned Obi-Wan, so that was great.
They did. I screamed a little bit.
It was really exciting. But,
I was more excited for Hera, because I was like, well, obviously, they're gonna mention Obi-Wan. They can't not.
Yeah. But... They got to mention Hera, too.
They got to mention Hera. I loved it.
A part of me, like...
Hera's alive!
Yeah, Hera made it.
Spoiler alert, Hera lives
through...
to at least there.
Part of that movie.
Nope.
She might have died, like,
They
in that
could have
battle.
been died. They absolutely could have died in that battle.
Like, Kanan and Ezra have to be gone by then, because they're like, you need to go find your Jedi friend. And Bail knows about Kanan and Ezra, so Bail will be like, oh no, there's two that are, like...
I know 3! They're still in the hangar! We got 2 in the hangar!
But we know that Rebels is going to tie into Rogue One soon, so I'm hoping Cassian's going to show up for sure.
That'd be interesting.
Like, that's... I mean, of all the people to show up, Cassian, maybe Saw, can show up. So.
Yeah, Saw can show back up, and we can see him, like... Ooh, if
we could get more K2. If we get more Cassian and K2...
If we get, like, a little K2 and Cassian, that'd be so fun.
I'm up for that.
Come on!
Because they could have been in the rebellion. He said he's been part of, like, the battle since he was 6, so...
Yeah, I, like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I want it. And I want K2 to backhand Chopper.
Yes. K2 and Chopper need to meet.
Yep. Because Chopper would be like, bop, bop, bop. You think you're so cool being
and
so
K2 would be
tall.
like, do you hear this, droid?
K2 would be like, slap. You guys need to discipline this thing.
Lord. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Go see the film. Let us know what you think. Let us know about those lines that we missed.
What was your favorite part?
Yep. Who knows? We could do another podcast about it, because, I mean, there's just a lot.
If we start to discover more, maybe.
I think I recommend reading the book, if you haven't, before the movie. Either way, doesn't really matter. You just have a lot more character backstory, especially about Galen and Krennic and Jin's mom and Jin herself a little bit. They kind of show them in flashbacks a little bit, but just seeing the book and Saw and maybe one of the bounty hunters who might be in that. Maybe he's that alien guy. Who knows? But thank you guys for watching. I'm Courtney.
I'm Zillow.
Bye.
Bye.